Hey, everybody. It's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And on this red day, yeah, it's really leaning red. Brad Garlinghouse was speaking to Bloomberg earlier and makes mention of John Deaton making a run to unseat Elizabeth Warren.
I think that for a lot of politicians, crypto's become a soundbite where they don't really understand how crypto works, and they say things that actually don't even back up with facts. So, I do think it's a campaign issue. Ripple has leaned into that. I personally, my donations are bipartisan, but certainly pro-crypto, and that'll continue to be the case. I'll even highlight just today, John Deaton, a very prominent pro-crypto guy, announced he's running against Elizabeth Warren. So I think you're going to continue to see that. Correct.
Already she has identified her challenger. On X, she wrote and posted, apparently the MAGA Republican machine couldn't find a single Republican in Massachusetts to run against me, so they brought in someone from Rhode Island who will have the backing of the GOP and special interest groups. That interest group would be us. Caitlin Long responded, boom, congrats, John Deaton. You baited Elizabeth Warren into responding to you. That's a victory. And she called you a MAGA Republican. That has me rolling on the floor. Anyone who looks into your story quickly realizes the truth, and it's quite a story. She's running scared. Awesome. And you can also find John has a new X site. It is at Deaton for Senate. When I first found it, there was just 15 followers. It's now up to 8,477 in less than 24 hours. So I think this man has a lot of support. And I found a comment floating out there in Boston on TV about who John Deaton is and what his chances are. I'll play a short portion of that clip. And yeah, who is John Deaton, the man running against Elizabeth Warren in Massachusetts? I don't think you've seen this yet. I just found it and posted it.
What do you think Deaton's chances are of pulling off a similar upset?
Well, there's some big differences. Scott Brown was an experienced politician. He had run for office multiple times. Mr. Deaton's a novice. I'm looking forward to meeting him, and obviously, you never say never. But, Paul, I think perhaps his biggest obstacle, setting aside money and name recognition and all that, is he's got to share the ballot next November with a name that is not popular in Massachusetts, and a name that he didn't mention at all in his lengthy announcement video, and that would be Donald J. Trump.
Interesting. We shall see. John Keller, thank you.
Tomorrow, I have what I think is going to be the most amazing AMA with the co-founder of Solidify. This is a DeFi trading and payments all-in-one for the XRP ledger, XinFin, which is the XDC network, and also Flare blockchain. Wow, I can't wait. If you're jumping into any of the live spaces on the X platform and a part of the XRP community, I'm sure you've come across Vet because he's in many of them. Well, he invited Aaron McDonald, the founder and CEO of FUTUREVERSE, to a community call. If you're interested in how this platform, FUTUREVERSE, is utilizing the digital asset XRP and DeFi with their Moai finance, also with being a rewards token and also a gas token, I think this is a great space for you to join. For me, it's going to be very early, March 1st, 6 a.m., but you can count on me being there. And I hope that you come to the Gold Coast to meet Aaron in person because he's going to be speaking. He's there with a team and going to make a presentation. Now, if you can't come to Australia in March, go ahead and get a virtual ticket. It's only like $129 and you get to watch 2 days, more than 20 speakers. I think it's a great value. One of the big members of the XRP community is Santiago Velez, and he's introducing to us today the world's first compliant decentralized futures protocol. This has got a very unique KYC tokenization, which means no centralized entity involved. Recently, Monica Long, the president of Ripple, said that 2024 is the year of being compliant. I am sure she's right. Squawkbox was on fire today with crypto. There's a couple of short clips. The first one is Mike Novogratz. how low does he think Bitcoin will go? And that's followed by Tom Lee addressing the accusations of Bitcoin being used for nefarious activity. It's interesting. Have a listen.
If I asked you to make the downside case for Bitcoin, what would it be in your mind?
45,000, 42,000.
And what would get you there?
It could be some regulatory, kerfuffle. It could just be the market got a little long and you get people scared. I don't see that as a high probability. But, we broke out. You can just look at the chart. We kind of broke out from 45. And so pushing through where you broke out from happens often in markets. It's not supposed to be easy to make money. You got to get scared a few times. And that's what's been so impressive about the real core Bitcoin community. Like they just take the pain and buy more. I mean, there's such a belief system around this asset. But it wouldn't surprise me if something happened that we're not paying attention to.
And you've heard it from the Jamie Dimons of the world, maybe even Elizabeth Warrens and others who say, despite what you said about sort of how good the blockchain is to be able to find where things are, it is the medium of choice for ransomware. I mean, just you go through the list of sort of terrible illegal behavior. People in that world seem to love Bitcoin. What does that say about this?
Well, pirates were the first people that liked gold, so we knew gold was a good store of value. But I think equally important, the dollar is used in more illicit activies.
99.
I know we talked about that, obviously.
99.9.
And Joe's made that point before, but you don't. So you ascribe nothing to the idea that Bitcoin is a beloved currency for those who are trying to do nefarious things.
Well, here's a way to think of it. Criminals don't trust anybody, but they trust Bitcoin. And so if you want to say what is a trusted asset, it's really what would be the least trustworthy.
This is like saying you follow the technology that starts with PORN, right?
No, I think
because that's.
I think it's like
right. I remember like videotapes and this.
It's like blaming the object for itself for the nefarious behavior when it's the humans that are using that.
Bitcoin is going to take us to the land of what? Unicorns and rainbows, or you might better be suited for Valhalla. Wherever it is, it's going to be great because all boats rise. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.
Spot ETFs have opened up a gateway for institutional capital to flow into the Bitcoin ecosystem. The demand for the spot ETFs, especially the new ones, net, has been far in excess of the supply from the miners every day. In some cases, up to 8 to 10 times as much demand as supply every day. This is a rising tide that's going to lift all boats.
When would it make sense to take profits there?
Well, I've famously said I'm going to be buying the top forever. So Bitcoin's competing against gold, which is 10x what it is right now. It's competing against the S&P index. It's competing against real estate, $100 trillion plus asset class, as a store of value. So we believe capital is going to keep flowing from those asset classes into Bitcoin because Bitcoin is technically superior to those asset classes. And that being the case, there's just no reason to sell the winner to buy the losers.